Welcome to another episode of Backed or Busted. I'm your host, Rob McCallum, aka Rob McZob, and today we are looking at a comics project on Kickstarter called Life of the Party, Roll for Initiative. Let's jump over there and take a look. So here we are on Kickstarter, and like I said, we are looking at Life of the Party, Roll for Initiative. The quest continues with a dose of humor and some of your best RPG and geek moments from your party's gaming table. And I know this is a comics project, mainly because it says so down here. It is also a project that Kickstarter loves, which is how it came to my attention when I started doing a searching and exploring kind of search to see what was up there. As you can see up here, you can hit explore and find out a bunch of different things that might appeal to you. That's how this came up. Now, that said, despite their success of 61,000 raised, and you can see they basically went for 50,000 American, or they basically went for 7,000 American, and they're almost at 50,000. Despite that success, let's see if we can find a bunch of issues with the campaign or what they could have done better, or really point out what they've done incredibly well. First thing I would say is that based on the title and this thumbnail, I have no idea that this is actually a comic project. The only thing that tells me is a super small fine print down here. So Life of the Party, Roll for Initiative, the comic, or something like that, or a comic project, or the quest continues in this second edition of the comic. So you can see down here, Roll for Initiative Volume 2. So I'd probably put Volume 2 up here, or something along that effect. Let's take a look at the pitch video and see what we can learn from that. All right, so there we have the pitch video for Life of the Party, Roll for the Initiative. It's created by Travis Hansen. We saw his name pop up here. And let's just step through the video to see what works and what doesn't work. Definitely some things to point out. So I really like the big opening with the edge-to-edge frame illustration. That's awesome. It pulls me in right away, and I thought, wow, I'm in store for something really special. I'm going to get pulled into this universe. And then as the video went on, we get more and more title cards and less detailed artwork, a lot of stuff on white, and more title cards that didn't have a theme. Like, all the title cards were different. We got stuff that was white text on black, and then we got white text on blue. We also got some weird ones on like beige. And we also got green. So that was really strange to see all that. And maybe that ties into the book, but I don't know that based on the video. So, great opening for sure. There's no voiceover or anything to pull me through. That would have been easy even if Travis did it himself or went to Fiverr.com or Voices.com and hired somebody. I also think the video is a little out of order. I do like the fact that we're, understanding a little bit about the book up front, but I probably would have cut that section down a little bit. And if I can find it. So this is almost like where the campaign starts. The campaign pitch video starts anew again because we get this nice title screen. And then we get to know a little bit more about what the project is. This stuff is so important to have up front and to work in, the details of the project. So there's the two halves, right? Like he's trying to tell us about the book itself and then about why the campaign is important. And I think he gets the order wrong, and he should have mixed them around a bit. It's just very clunky. And then because stylistically we're getting a bunch of stuff across the board, I tune out really quick and often. And because the music, while it is epic and RPG-like and very questy and adventure, it's just too slow. It loses me. I love the number of art assets that are in here. It's just... I don't know, it's not a lot. And then we get this logo at the end, which doesn't feel like it has anything to do with any of the artwork that we've seen. So I don't give a lot of top marks for this video, like maybe 5 out of 10 kind of deal, because the art that's in there is good. I just think the structure is horrible. And even if the art wasn't good, better structured film, if you would say, or pitch video would have helped it significantly. So let's go through the campaign. Adventures are meant to be remembered, especially when all you can ever roll is a 1. So we see this image again. So if we refresh this page quickly, we see this selfie image up here. I would have probably led with something else just so it's not the same art over and over again. So like, show me something new that pulls me down through the page. It's just kind of lazy when there is this much art to kind of go through that it is the same image over and over again. Since the successful publication of the first book, Life of the Party has continued to grow in scope and popularity. I love to game and I love cartooning. It turns out they make a perfect combination. The great thing about daily webcomic is there's plenty of new material, and we now have enough for volume 2 in the series, so let the campaign begin. So this is great. He tells us what the thing is. It's a daily webcomic. He says who he is and what it's made out of, gaming. And basically the first one went really well, so... He wants to continue his love for gaming and cartooning and put it together. I believe the Kickstarters need to be fun, clean, and unpredictable. That's why we turned ours into a game. The more levels we unlock, the more monsters we defeat, and the better the goodies and adventures that can bring. So let's start with the bare bones, the book. So he's turned this Kickstarter is a little bit like the content that he's parroting. So I love this art image, but it takes a lot to kind of look at, so let's try to understand, because it's a little busy. So the Kickstarter quest: create a second book in the Life series, 8 by 5.5, 90 pages of color comics. Again, this is maybe a little too small. What will it take to print the book? 7,000 gold pieces or US dollars. This covers printing, shipping, extras, and Kickstarter fees. So that's good, and it's good that it's nice and big, bold letters. A lot of it's being obscured, but I do love that graphic overall. Start as a 90-page softcover book with UV spot cover. This means there's a gloss overlay to help the cover stand out. The basic book will feature comic book pages that have already been posted online, including the cameo cartoons from the last Kickstarter, plus all sorts of little goodies. Once we hit the gold and begin to level up, look at upgrading the cover as well as the page count. To print 2,000 books and ship a huge portion of them out, my blacksmith and gnomes will need about 7,000 gold pieces. So this is good. I really like that he's using the humor of it in here, but they also take US dollars. This will cover production costs. So and this is something to always kind of pay attention to, right? To print 2,000 books. So that's his goal. He wants to print 2,000 books with most of them going out, maybe a few held back for inventory. It's going to cost 7,000 gold pieces. So that's good there. Here's a few comics that will be in the book. So we see these one-shots, which is nice. Your character sheet. So this is super busy. Life of the Party, character progress, class, weapon. I mean, this is cool, and again, it's a nice parody. You can see it, but it's just really hard to read, as I'm sure you guys can tell just watching the video. 120 pages, hardcover book for all, physical rewards, UV spot enabled. So I think this is current level rewards available. When a level is beaten, the rewards will become available. So I think because we're coming late in the campaign and we have 10 days to go, as it says here, we have over 1,000 backers. Some of this has been unlocked on our behalf, so it would have been interesting to see what this would have looked like early on, if I'm interpreting this right. PDF upgrades. Now for backers at pledge level 55 or higher, 5x7 news and victories. As we beat more levels, this sheet marks our progress. So yeah, so these are different things that have been created. So okay. Backers at 250 or higher will automatically get one off of each of these things. Adding on extra books, book 1, and other goodies. So and then it tells you to look up here to figure that out. So that's a little backwards. Leveling up. The stretch goal is once we hit the original goal, the dungeon crawl truly begins. Hidden within the corridors lie monsters and treasures waiting to be found. To defeat the monster and level up so we can open the next door, we need to hit the stretch goal. So I do, again, like how they're making the campaign as much of an adventure as the story and content itself. Leveling up the new dungeon. So basically they keep adjusting what we get to see here as the campaign progresses. So level 1, 12,000, the rodent defeated, Dark Widow destroyed, 17,000. So consistency, we have a comma here, don't have a comma here. It's such a minor thing, but it's like, let's just be consistent. And again, 12,000 is in a different, it's not in yellow like that. Consistency, that's all I'm asking for. Level 4, 25,000. And because we're starting to get, font overlay, probably just LVL 4 would have been fine. That's cool. Level 5 destroyed, so it's great. The book is now hardcover, so that actually cost people more money. So level 6, 35,000. The bowl is down. Level 7, 39.5. A vampire defeated, and all these things basically keep transforming it, which is nice. So these are just your classic stretch goals, but they've been done in a way where the art is very well done, but it takes a little bit to kind of read through and digest right away. So all I care at this point of the campaign is a potentially new backer as I'm coming in. It's like, okay, where are we? Okay, level 8, we've got it. Is there anything else that we haven't got? Okay, so we haven't got level 9. So reaching the stretch goal defeats the monsters and opens the door to level 10. Revenge of the Bones. The door is always open. A Skeletor keeps its way towards you. It's massive gold blade run. All backers, new book upgrade. Beautiful ribbon page marker sewn into the book. Pint glass is another option, and they're add-ons. So. And here's some looks at those pint glasses. Level 10. Does it say what it waits with creature full of more dread where you find more of the treasure? Yeah, so it doesn't really say what it's going to be or the amount that we have to hit. So this we have to hit 52,000, and we are at American, that is. We're at 49,258. So they're definitely going to hit that with the way that this campaign is going and where it should end up. So you basically get to keep coming back and seeing where it goes, which is a fun way to check in on the campaign and keeps it fresh. Because sometimes I'll back a campaign, not check on it until maybe the last day when it's funded and kind of look back and see how it's gone. But then there are other campaigns where I do kind of follow it day to day just to see how it's going. And some of those have been featured on Backed or Busted. So treasures. So this is basically just breaking down the rewards, which we'll get into. Here's the art version of that. Again, some of it's really busy, and there's a lot of art. Let me just say that I'm gonna go back and kind of look at it. So share the fun. Honestly, it's no fun gaming by yourself. So grab some friends, dice, blah blah blah. Bigger party, more fun. Invite people to join. Who is Trav? So this is a little bit about who he is. I would have maybe liked this up front a little bit, so I could have known a little bit about the creator, but. Because I'm a little bit seasoned to Kickstarter, I know there are other ways to find that out. But for people that don't know, it would have been nice to see it up front. Risks and challenges. Risks and challenges with every project. 8 successful, 1 failed. Come to realize that you can hope for everything to run smooth, but it's not always the case. Sometimes things happen. For instance, shipping can be delayed. The boat could sink. You miss the email with a survey from BackerKit or Kickstarter. This happens a lot. The computer with all the files could explode for a variety of reasons. Though I cannot predict all things that could happen, I know that the most important thing is to keep communication open with my backers. Those who have backed my previous projects know this to be true. You will find I am easy to contact. Another issue we're having a little bit of that one with the last one is people answering the BackerKit questionnaire, making sure they are using an accurate credit card as well as putting in proper address information. If a reward gets shipped back to us because you put in the wrong address, then we will ask you to help cover the shipping to resend it. My goal is to make this project run as smoothly as possible. If there's a bump, which happens from time to time, I will let you know about it. I won't keep you in the dark. My goal is to run projects clean, smooth, and very open. Thank you for your support, Trav. Okay, so that makes sense. I do like that he cited some stuff there, and he kind of, was open and honest about, like, look, be on your toes about the BackerKit fulfillment service when we send surveys, and that your credit card is up to date. It's not on us if it gets shipped back to us, and you'll have to cover shipping. So that's good. But I would have put such things under the frequently asked questions. We can see that there are 2. And I'm just scrolling up here just to show you how much art is here. And it's not that the art is bad or that it is too much, and it could be kind of displayed a little bit different. It's that it's really challenging and draining to going from reading the art to text. So as I go from this stuff here, and then I have to switch gears and kind of get in the flow of this, and then I have to go back to this, and then I have to go to these. It's it just slows me down, and if I'm in a hurry or I want to get excited, it delays the excitement, I guess. So yeah, that's something I would caution against. All right, let's look at the rewards and see if we can make sense of that. Pledge US $10 US or more. NPC, we're glad you came to the party. This includes one digital copy of the book. So $10, you get the book. Great. $22, loot from a random monster. You'll be heavily laden with a European swallow. Includes a physical copy of the book, signed by Trav. Also includes a digital copy of the book in PDF. So you get a digital version and you get a physical version. So that is cool. And that's $22. I have no idea about shipping. Just says ships to anywhere in the world. So if I were to select it, let's see, $15 to Canada, so that's $37. So I mean, you can't fault the guy because it's not he's not selecting where you're from, but let's see where it is to the US just by comparison. United States, there is no shipping to the United States. It's free in there, it looks like. So that's good. At least that's the way that's coming up. It could be an issue with how my Kickstarter account is now set up now that I'm located in Canada, but I don't think that's the case. A couple of gems. So basically, it looks like extra books, plus you get PDF, physical, and sketch by Trav. So that's really cool. That's a good one. Most people so far, almost 400, are taking just the book. But for an extra $13, you get a sketch by Trav. So if you really like this, that's a really great way of doing it. And you will. So you take the time to look in the corner. A couple of gems have rolled there. You exchange them for a sketch by Trav on the inside cover of your book. So it doesn't say how big it is. It's just that it's there, and he's got some work to do. 141 little sketches he's got to do. But since he's got to sign everything, maybe it's not that big of a deal. $55. Again, the books, the sketch, and character sheets and maps. I guess that plays into everything here in the book. So it's a little outside my realm for me to understand. So the next 175, it just keeps adding on. So you get 6 unique bookmarks and 5x7 comic print from the book, signed, which is nice. 115, you get all that stuff, and you get a 6x9 Copic original custom character illustration. So that's cool. 175, so we go from 115, we go 75, 115, 175, Boots of Speed. So you get all that stuff plus an original Copic page from the book. So that's cool. And there's 11 backers of that. And they're limited to 200 because he's looking at 200 pages as we read above. The Book of Armaments. Original page from the book, which is interesting. There's no limit on that, and there should be a limit on that, because if all 200 go here, then how is he going to have enough of these 12 backers here? This should be limited, and this should be limited too, but you can go in and adjust those limits as long as the campaign is live at any time. You get 2 sketches by Trav. You get 2 physical books. You get 6 unique bookmarks, 5x7 comic print from the book, original Copic page, and 11x14 original illustration. Your adventuring party. That's neat. Pledge US $350 or more. Your character in an upcoming Life of the Party. So that's cool. You get to basically be in it for $350 plus everything else. 500. How does it get better than that? You get a 13x9 original illustration. So what's different here is you get the adventuring party here for 11x14, and then the big thing is that you get to be in it. And so the way that this is organized, it's like your character gets to be in it, but in here, this is where you're kind of thrown in. So between the 500 and the 350, it doesn't look like there's a lot different. And again, it's really hard to kind of read through some of this to kind of get that, because it's written in the style of the comic, at least the first half is. And it's so much easier just to graze with these bullets. So the more that these bullet points are laid out, the better. So, and he decided to do an early bird, 150. You're the first one to the cache, and you spy a portion of luck. Quaffing it changes your book, and now has a sketch by Trav on the inside cover. So for $30, what is he charging for the other one? I think it's 41 or 35. So yeah, how many rewards does he have? Because it feels like a lot. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So you had 11 plus an early bird one. So I'd get rid of the early bird one right away. It's not needed. And I would add a $1 one just for kicks, and maybe just clarify some of those later ones, because I'm not really seeing the difference. It's getting they're getting stacked so much that it's almost too good to be true. And I would say overall these rewards are done very well. They're done very well, where they keep just adding and adding, and it's clear that you're just getting the next thing for X number of dollars. You can do the math quickly and simply in your head, and it makes, you know, cash money. It's a cash logic in your head. So for me to go from 35 to 55, I know that I'm getting everything that I got from above, but I'm getting character sheets and maps, a PDF. So it's a digital thing. So is it worth the $20? It's easy for me to make that call right away. And if I want to look at those character sheets and maps, because they've done the work over here, and I'll just scroll down through everything. Hang on, stretch goals until I get to the rewards down here. You get some of this stuff. So you get a physical copy of the book, blah, blah, and a set of specialized PDF campaign sheets, perfect for notes, quick stats, spells, NPC names, equipment. So the other thing I would caution about this project, because it isn't set up here, I mean, we know it's a comics project because it's laid out that way. It's in the comics section of Kickstarter. We're talking about it being a publication of the first book, but there's just enough information in this and here, especially with from your party's gaming table, to make people think that this is possibly a tabletop game. So really watch out for that, because that's not a mistake that you want to make. So let's go to the frequently asked questions, and we've got two. How do I get book one? Hardcover PDF. Just add $10 to your pledge. So there you go. However, if you add the hardback for $20, you'll get the PDF for free. Will you be able to get add-on from last Kickstarter, including maps, trifolders, and other goodies? The answer is yes, and you'll be able to do that through our backer kit survey, given it about 3 weeks after Kickstarter closes. So great. So that's populated. He's done 9 updates, Trav. So this launched on January 16th. He did an opening update, which is great. He did a second update that day, and a third one, and these, of course, pertain to stretch goals. The 18th, so basically every day for the first few days, and then the 22nd, a few days after that. Again, these are all stretch goal related. There's nothing else. Here's a page to color, and thank you. First off, I want to say thank you. Your support is overwhelming. I'm going to take a look at this. And second, I wanted to give out a coloring page for everyone. Just have fun with. Enjoy it. Just save the image, print it up, color away. More epic battles come. Plus, we're edging closer to making the coloring book rally. I'm really excited about this. So it's just a cool way for him to say thanks. And the coloring book is a go in Alpine glasses. So that's awesome. Frequent updates, always awesome. Lots of different comments here. 10-time creator, so he's look, 38 minutes ago from us. This 42 minutes ago, Ed asked a question. 4 minutes later, he got back to it, so that's great. People are asking for backer badge. We got some super backers here, which are really nice. And they're talking about what's going on. Vampire's been stake, and then sharing some links and stuff. I don't know how much that helps. But he's doing a lot of work here. So what's happening with Bean? So answering right away. So hey, applaud him to that. That's great. Life of the party. Let's go on kick track over here. So I pre-looked this up just to get the page loaded. Look at this curve. Isn't this curve just super nice and silky smooth? Love it a lot. Daily data. They're trending towards 73,000, by the way, which is maybe not all that impossible, given that there's only 10 days left, and this is updated 5 minutes ago. You can see day one was monstrous. They did, looks like 16,000 day one, then 4,000 from then on. But they've done, a few $100, $1,000 each day or so, like without concern at all. Backers have been like 20 plus per day. He's averaging 46 because he had 400 the first day, and lots of comments too going on. There's a few days where he's got some goose eggs on comments, but that's not a big deal. And then lists all the updates here. It doesn't look like I saw any press. And look at this. Tags. Somebody's put tags here. That's fantastic. Let's take a look at the projection. So on the low side, 57. On the high side, 74. Given that they have 10 days left, given some of the other information that we can see here, I would probably say about 63 if everything kind of remains the same. So somewhere between basically their projection. 57 and 74. 63 would put it right about here. So, I mean, I don't know how safe that is for me to play it, but so be it. Let's jump back over to Kickstarter. And I guess the big question is now, do I back it or don't I back it? Pros and cons. Video needs a lot of work. The campaign is riddled with art and text that makes me forced to go back and forth. It's really slow to read and spend time on that. It's hard. It's different than looking at like a webcomic daily to get through it for that experience. The rewards are nicely structured. They that's a pro. So the campaign itself and the campaign video are cons. I'm not hooked based on that. The rewards are really nice. It's super easy to understand how things get better and why they keep building and going beyond. He's done 8 successful campaigns, as we found out down here under risks and challenges, and one that failed. So that's a nice little bit of honesty, and he talks about what works and what doesn't work. And I do like that he does a lot of frequent updates, as we saw from here. And what else can we point to help make our decisions? He responded to a lot of the comments, so he's very active. It is a project that Kickstarter loves. I don't like the title, or at least the short description, because it doesn't make it clear that it's a comic book. Let's look at the community and see if we can learn anything else from here. So of the 1,000 backers that we got now, 730 are from the US, so it definitely resonates a little bit more in North America, although the top city is Singapore. Sydney tied for tops with Minneapolis coming in there too, and then lots of other U.S. cities there. So 38 new backers to Kickstarter. So a lot of the success from this are people that are on Kickstarter already, or probably from his other projects. Where do we sit with this? This is a hard one. I don't love it, but I don't hate it, because I think there's a lot of things that are working right here. You know what? I think for this, I can't get into it for one main reason, and that's because the video didn't hook me enough to want to spend money to have this, especially when it's a daily webcomic for free. I'm not a fan yet, and maybe if I get into this in the interim, then I can go back and pick up the book. The first book is still available, so there's not much exclusive. He talked about those exclusivities being available through BackerKit survey, and it's still on Kickstarter, so it's still Kickstarter exclusive, perhaps. But I want to back it, but I'm not really compelled enough to do it. There's a lot that makes sense, but maybe chalk it up to personal taste. But this video is kind of what killed it for me, and it was just way too slow and didn't quite pull me in here. So it would have been there would have been a little bit better way to get into it, and I think hearing from Travis Hansen would have helped a lot. Just hear from him and sell his enthusiasm would have been a real difference maker in this case, I think, for me. So that's why I always kind of preach that. So unfortunately, as much as I like it, and much of the things that they're doing right, as I pointed out, I'm going to have to officially declare this campaign busted. But I say that with the caveat that if you're into comics and you're webcomics, this is probably for you. So back it if you feel compelled. So busted for me, possibly back it for you. It didn't win me over. If you have a project that you'd like me to highlight or take a closer look at and feature it on our episodes here at Backed or Busted, drop me a line. Message me at facebook.com/BackedOrBustedCrowdfunding. Crowdfunding. Hit me up on Twitter at RobMcZob, or go to old-fashioned email, crowdfundingspectacular99@gmail.com. It's a pleasure, guys. We have a live seminar coming up on crowdfunding too in the end of March in London, Ontario. Check out our Facebook page for more details on that. Until next time, keep rocking.